So the Prime Minister has confirmed that Britain will put boots on the ground in Ukraine if any peace deal is signed. But what's that likely to look like? Well, we already know that senior British commanders have been drawing up plans for this for a while. But apart from that, details are still quite scant. The figure that's been bandied around is a force of around 10,000 troops, split between the French and the Brits. Now, for the British Army, that's about the size of a large brigade, about 3 to 5 battalions. Now, we're told these troops are going to be based in military hubs. They'll support the Ukrainian military by building facilities to protect weapons and military kit. There's also been talk previously of British and French troops protecting bits of Ukrainian infrastructure, power stations and ports, for example. There's also likely to be an air policing element and some presence in the Black Sea, probably to demine it and make it safer for commercial traffic. Now, there's been a lot of talk about this not being a tripwire force, and these troops would be positioned away from the line of contact in eastern Ukraine. But there are some pretty influential people asking questions about this whole idea. Former Defence Secretary Ben Wallace says the army, which is around 70,000 strong now, could only sustain a mission in Ukraine for a short time. The other issue is how the British troops would protect themselves. There's plenty to suggest that Russia would break any sort of ceasefire, so British soldiers would need to have enough firepower on hand to defend themselves and, if needs be, fight Russian troops. They'd avoid it, of course, but they'd need to be prepared for it. So would they need some sort of armoured protection? And what would be the rules of engagement? This, of course, is where the US backstop comes in. The Americans are offering to provide intelligence and surveillance to monitor any ceasefire, but the French and British troops on the ground would obviously also like to have the backup of American forces if things turn sour. The biggest factor in all this, though, is Vladimir Putin. For this to happen, he will have to be forced to accept it, and that isn't something that looks even remotely possible right now.